Okay, so you mentioned that the bar is quite high to actually become a private certifier in New South Wales. So what then are the major challenges in finding appropriate staff and candidates these days, do you find?
Look, for us, we've got enough accredited people here that when we're looking for staff, it's an issue that it's not a primary issue as to whether people are accredited or not. Capable of being accredited is useful, and it's probably something where if you weren't capable of being accredited, you probably wouldn't satisfy our general criteria anyway for someone we were looking for. We like to see people who've got some university qualifications. I like the fact that people have had to undergo that discipline to get a degree as opposed to the diploma, and I think that it's worth something in terms of polishing a professional person out, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, good. Now, so apart from the usual requirements and qualifications and experience, so apart from having the right degree or a certain degree and a certain level of experience, what do you look for when you're interviewing a prospective employee?
Don't be boring.
Right.
What the world doesn't need now is another boring certifier. So we try and present a human face to our clients, and not the Night of the Living Dead face that perhaps the industry may be perceived as presenting. So we're interested in somebody who's got a bit of personality.
Someone a bit like yourself, then, probably.
Well, perhaps, Adam, perhaps. But that's what we like, and we don't want to work with people if they're going to be boring. So we're interested in interesting people.
Okay. But do they have to have a certain amount of business acumen? Do they have to know how the property development process works, for example?
It all helps, but none of it's essential. We substantially recruit undergraduates here, and we train people up. And obviously, when you've got someone who's an undergraduate, it's quite unreasonable to expect them to have, really anything other than a willingness to learn and hopefully some personality. So when we're getting, I almost just flick straight to the interests, to be honest. I want to know that you're doing the right course, or you've done the right course, and you've got something that looks remotely like the right experience. And after that, I want to know that you're fun to work with.
And that they like sailing.
That could be one of the angles. But there's many ways to skin that cat.
Good. Okay. Now, after meeting you and some of your guys, I know that effective office culture seems to one of the mainstays of this company's success. Now, without giving away any secrets, how's that achieved?
We have a slightly different office culture, I think, to most of our peers. Certification is a difficult thing. When you're the person signing, you need to have some hierarchy, some QA, and you need that pyramid structure in that sense. But today's office environment withers on the vine if you try and impose that old school public service type thing, which is of course how certification was always executed in the public realm. So we don't want people who like that style of working. We like people who can show initiative, who are capable of working in a flat structure. So we've got to delicately balance that need for mentoring and people to oversee other people's work and check and QA with everyone's preference, which is to have autonomy and do your own jobs and really operate with a minimum of supervision, and that's very tricky. We make a big fuss about not having any offices and having an open plan and trying to really actually flatten the whole thing out as much as we possibly can and really minimise the amount of hierarchy that we bring to the table in terms of being an employer. And that's, I think, worked really well for us in this market. We've got a lot of young people here. There's a lot written about what Gen Ys do and don't want in the workplace. So we're very cognizant of what our Gen Ys might be looking for.
You can't beat them, work with them.
Work with them, exactly.
Exactly.
And I think we do it reasonably well because we tend to hang on to our Gen Ys.
Yeah, that's good. Steve, that's excellent. That's all we have time for. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
It's been very interesting.